My name is Bryce Cooper, and for the past 6 months I've been spending every weekend hanging out with my new best friend Cindy. I should also mention I've sort of been cross-dressing during those times, but I swear it's only because of our deal. I'm a guy and I totally hate it. Like I said, it was part of our deal. She tutors me, helping me pass my classes and keeping me from failing, and in exchange, I let her practice her hair, makeup, and fashion skills on me. It was really embarrassing at first, but after months I've sort of gotten used to it. Although I'm still not used to going out in public dressed up as a girl. The first time after leaving Cindy's house nearly killed me. Being forced to wear a short pink dress all the way home is something I'll never forget. I have gone out a handful of times dressed up as a girl since then, and well, they were embarrassing, but never that bad. Plus, every time I did go out with Cindy dressed as a girl, she let me keep the outfit. Not that I like them, of course. It's just free stuff is free stuff, right? Like normal, it was Sunday night, and the two of us were lying on my bed scrolling on our phones. We had both finished up for the day, my studying and her practice, and we were just chilling, waiting for one of her dads to come pick her up. This was something we've been doing more often, as we just sort of started hanging out more after spending so much time together. Cindy ended up breaking the silence by telling me she had a really big favor to ask of me. She seemed really nervous about it, which was unlike her. We both sat up and looked at each other, and while I was a bit confused, I asked her what was up. She rubbed her arm as she looked down towards the floor and told me that her teacher had set up a special test this week. That made sense. They need to make sure that she and the other students are learning, even if what they're learning is a bit different than what I was learning. I asked her to tell me more, which seemed to only make her more nervous. She told me that the teacher wanted each of the students to bring in the people they had been working with, and that during the class they were supposed to transform that person like they do in their photos. I told her that made sense, not fully understanding what that meant. Cindy could tell I didn't get it, and then confessed that she needed me, since she'd been using me the whole time. The teacher wanted to make sure she wasn't cheating or lying about her work. I felt my face turn red as what she was asking me hit me. I understand wanting to make sure she wasn't cheating. Cindy was truly so good you'd think the pictures of me were edited. I didn't end up responding to that big reveal. Instead, my face continued to burn and glow red as I looked down at the floor embarrassed. She got closer to me and put her arm around me. I told her that I still wasn't all that comfortable being out in public dressed as a girl, and what she was asking me was to go there as a boy, then get turned into a girl while her and her teacher and others watched. People would know what I'm doing, and the thought of that nearly made me pass out. Cindy said that she knew that, and she wouldn't have asked if it didn't mean failing her classes. Hearing that suddenly sparked something inside of me. Cindy was in the same spot I was in before we met. I couldn't possibly let her fail her classes, not after she worked so hard to help me pass mine. So I told her I'd do it, but she'd totally owe me a lot. She nodded, said that she'd take me on a shopping trip for cute dresses, and then hugged me. When she let go of me, she did tell me not to worry too much, as I wouldn't be the only boy there. Some of her classmates were boys, and some of the people coming in to be practiced on for the test were boys just like me. That did help a lot, but I was still sitting on the bed completely red-faced and unable to speak that much. After that, her dad arrived and she left, and I spent the rest of the week overthinking what was going to happen on Friday before classes let out. When the time finally came around, I met Cindy outside her classroom dressed as my normal self. She hugged me, then dragged me in to meet her teacher. She seemed surprised to see me, perhaps because she had no choice but to accept that Cindy was as good as the pictures showed. We chatted for a bit, and she praised me for being an amazing friend in helping Cindy awaken her potential. She then told me I looked great in the photos, and said that she couldn't wait to meet the real me, then winked before walking off to talk to somebody else, leaving me standing there red-faced. As the class filled up, I noticed there was about 7 people in the class taking this test, and 7 people being worked on. There was me, of course, 2 other boys, 3 girls, and Leo, who was non-binary and one of the cool kids, like popular cool. I don't personally know Leo, but I have seen them around, specifically when they were leading a protest against Williams Enterprises when they were sneakily trying to buy up preserved land to build on. This seemed like a weird place for someone who only wears black and doesn't seem to care much about their parents to be. But perhaps they were good friends with one of Cindy's classmates, and that was why they were here. Seeing the wide variety of males, females, and even Leo, the non-binary, put me at ease a lot more than I expected. They all made me feel normal, like I wasn't doing anything wrong. It didn't feel weird that I was here, which was good. Once everyone was present, the teacher had each of the pairs go into a closed-off curtain area to begin working in private. We had 2 hours to work, and Cindy was going to make the most of it. She sat me down and looked me in the eyes. Her eyes were ablaze with passion, and I could tell that meant what she was about to do to me would be her best work yet. She started with cutting my hair, since it had overgrown a bit these last few months. She did say that it was going to be feminine for now, but she'd fix that later if I wanted. She then started dyeing my hair the cute pink I'd gotten so used to having. After washing my hair out and drying it, she checked it all to make sure it was perfect. After a few touch-ups, she started on my makeup. Foundation, mascara, eyeliner, the whole 9 yards, and more. This whole process took nearly 15 minutes as she went nice and slow to make sure it was as perfect as my hair. Next up were my nails. She filed each one down, then attached fake black nails to them, and then carefully painted pink hearts all over each one. I had never had my nails done before, nor have I ever had such long ones, and I have to admit, they were fun to play with. I felt like a devious little cat that wanted to find something to scratch, which I wouldn't do, as that would ruin them, and Cindy would give me an earful for that. With that done, all that was left for me was to get dressed. Cindy pulled out a bag of clothes, which was soon to be the newest addition to my wardrobe, and handed me a pair of panties, a black strap dress, and a pair of 2-inch thigh-high black heels and told me to get into them. She then left me in the small private area where we were in so I could change. Tossing on the panties and dress was simple, as I'd done those a ton of times, but getting into the heels was tricky, and it was even harder to stand in them as they were the tallest shoes I've ever worn. I did have some practice in heels, so at least I knew what I should be doing while wearing them. With everything on, I stepped out of the private area just as her teacher told the class time was up. Everyone in the class and their volunteers stepped out ready to be evaluated. When I turned around to look at the others, I was in shock. The 2 other boys were completely changed. Both of them looked just like girls, just like me. One was dressed like a cheerleader, and the other was wearing a skirt suit. While we all looked like girls, I did notice there was one big difference between us. They both seemed to have fake breasts, making their chest look more noticeable. For some reason, I felt kind of jealous and looked down at my own, very flat chest. I found myself wondering what it was like to wear them. I then shook my head and asked why I was thinking about that. I'm a guy and I don't need them. Wanting to get away from those thoughts, I looked at the others. One of the girls was dressed as a biker dude, with fake scars, temporary tattoos, and even a fake beard. The other 2 girls were wearing long dresses, the kind you'd see at movie premieres. They each also had really fancy and complicated looking hairstyles. If I didn't know any better, I'd say they were famous actresses or something. Last up was Leo. Leo was the least changed person here. They still looked like their normal self, but they did seem to have some rocker theme going on. They had a cropped LBGT plus shirt on with a leather jacket over it. They were wearing cut-off denim shorts with fishnet leggings underneath, and they had a pair of thigh-high boots with spikes coming out of them. They were so cute and perhaps handsome, or really both. I couldn't stop staring, which they noticed. They locked eyes with me and smiled, and from across the room they yelled that I was cute, then winked at me. My face once again turned red, and instinctively, I looked down at the floor and put my hands behind my back, which I'm sure only made me look cuter. I didn't look up until after the teacher inspected me, along with everyone else. Once she was done, she handed everyone their reports, which included their score and any important suggestions the teacher had for them. When Cindy got hers, she instantly turned it around and showed me that she got nearly a perfect score. She hugged me, then dragged me out of the classroom, and as promised, she took me shopping for a new dress. I was in the changing room looking at a pink dress she picked out when she came walking in holding a couple of bras. I thought it was for her, but she held one of them up and asked me if I liked it. It was pink, sparkly, and covered in sequins, so of course I liked it. I told her that, and she smiled, then tossed it at me and told me to put it on. My poor face once again changed shades as I looked at her confused. She told me that from now on, I could wear them if I wanted. She was hesitant to offer because I'm a guy, but she caught me looking at the other guy's breast forms, so she figured I'd be interested. I let out an awkward laugh, knowing she caught that moment from earlier. I calmed down a bit and told her I was interested, but not sure if I was fully ready to wear them. She told me that was okay. I could wear them when I was ready, but for now she'd buy me a couple I could wear at home. I thanked her, and then with her help, we tried on a dozen of them. I do have to admit, it was nice to have it wrapped around my chest, and it was nice to see 2 little bumps coming out of the dresses I was trying on. I mean, it was embarrassing. I'm a guy after all. I don't need bumps on my chest. I don't even need dresses and cute things. I'm just doing all this because I have no other choice. Yeah, I'm just a guy being forced to cross-dress, I think. Hello, Riley here. Hope you enjoyed the video. If you did, please consider leaving a like or perhaps even subscribing. Also consider checking out my Patreon page where you can get tons of benefits from early access to my stories, exclusive stories, bonus content, and more. Anyways, thanks for watching the video. I hope you have a wonderful day.